Hi guys, Ashley from Ash Cash Budget here, bringing you a slightly different video than normal. So this is not a budgeting video. If you're more interested in that, this is more of a crafty video. Wandering Dreamer 555 requested to see how I make some of my items when I was talking about the Christmas gifts that I made and gave. And she saw the hand stamping stuff that I did, and she went out and bought some, and she wanted to know a little bit more. So this video is just showing my basic supplies. I think I have everything covered here. If you have more questions, you can ask down below if this interests you. But I'm going to show the beginner stuff because I really don't have that much just yet, but I have enough to make stuff with. And I'll try to link the Christmas video up above with the eye up in the sky, and I'll show you guys what I use to make my hand stamping stuff. So let me know if you like these videos, if you want to see a little bit more of them. This is just my basics. This is kind of what you need, what I think you need to at least get started in the minimum way. And I'll explain why some things are important to have even at the beginning. So of course, one of the very first things that you need is the stamping block. I just got this little mini stamping block from Hobby Lobby. And when I decided to go ahead and invest in this, and it was invested with business money, so it's not my own personal money, it's from the business that I use to invest into these items. And I haven't necessarily made back the money from selling these items, but I've made back the money just selling things in general. So I got this small block, and I think this was the only size at Hobby Lobby. You can get bigger blocks online, but this works for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing right now. So you definitely need this, and you need to set it. I would not, for instance, set it on this blanket that I film on. I would put the blanket up, put this directly on the table, because you don't want it bouncing around. So don't put anything soft under it. This is a nice hard surface, because if it bounces around, it's going to make the impressions bad. And then this hammer here is the next important step. When I was first while I was waiting to get the hammer, because I did go to Hobby Lobby and get these in pieces, I went and got everything once each day, or like whenever I could go, because I used the 40% off coupons. Some of this stuff, like some of the blanks, those will go on sale for the normal like 50% off that they have in rotation. But the other things, like these impress art things, they never go on sale. That's kind of one of the things that do not go on sale. So you want to go and get it with the 40% off coupon. Since a lot of this stuff was very pricey, I went and piecemealed it together and just grabbed it. And that way I could save 40% on all of these items, like all these big items that I got here. And then with the blanks, I try to get them when they are 50% off, when they're in the rotation, you know, the Hobby Lobby sales that they have. So this block is important, and this hammer, I did use a household hammer for a little bit, but it really doesn't work as well. See, the thing about this is the brass head. It is very soft, and I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see a lot of little indentions. Now this is important when striking the stamps, the metal stamps. The brass gives way a little bit more, I think, than your normal household hammer. And that's important because it's not going to bounce as much. It'll push into the stamp. The stamp will hit your steel, and instead of like bouncing around, it takes the blow of that. That's why these brass hammers are really important, and they're nice and weighty. They're 1 to 2 pounds depending on what you get, and that way you have to hit it hard. A nice, clean, hard blow. So these are nice and have a nice weight to them to help you deliver that hard blow. And then, of course, you want the stamps. So I went all out, and I decided to get the more expensive stamps, and I'm really happy with my purchase. Now, this letter set, a lot of the Impress Art letter sets are, I think, $50, but go with the 40% off coupon. You'll save tons. I decided on the Lollipop, which is a 4mm set, and it's all uppercase, but I liked the font, and I liked the little symbols that came with it as well, so that I could at least have some symbols to work with. And I actually don't have any separate symbols. You can buy them, but they're usually $5 to $7 depending on what it is, maybe just $4, but they are pretty pricey to get the design stamps by themselves. So this gave me like a little swirl, an ampersand, star, happy face, peace sign, love, and a little flower, and then plus the uppercase set in this font. And then I also got, and I got this a separate time as well, so I got this for 40% off, but it was, I think this was 20, I don't quite remember, but this is the numbers set. So we have the numbers set here as well, and I also got Lollipop in this. So I love these because one, the cases are awesome. Some of the other cheaper ones have cases that don't separate them like this, and it's just all together, and they kind of, if you were to take one out, they could fall and get kind of mixed up. This keeps them nice and separate so that they are all in their place. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're each in their place. You have A, B, C, D, and it's even labeled in the case in front of it what it is. So it's super easy to keep them in place. It makes it a lot easier when you're picking out the letters that you're getting, and they don't kind of fall together. I also love these Impress Art stamps because it says, and I don't think you might not be able to see that, but it says Impress Art right there and the letter. And that is how you know you point the letter towards you. That way you know which way you're stamping. On a lot of the other cheaper ones, they don't have anything stamped into the sides. And so you have to kind of make sure that you have it facing the right direction. But with these, if you have it facing towards you, you know it's in the right direction. So I definitely recommend these more expensive sets. I think they are great. So those, I want to get more, of course, have different font options, but I'm very happy with this because at least I have letters and numbers and some design stamps. I love the design stamps. I really want to get some more design stamps, but I gotta just slowly grow my collection. This is what I could do right now, and this is the minimum that I need to make it work, is everything that I'm showing you here. Now this hammer, I just wanted to show you guys. So I've had this hammer a long time. It's just a mallet, like a soft head mallet. The only reason I have this is for the soft blanks. Now, when I get to the blanks, there's harder blanks and soft blanks. So sometimes the softer ones, like aluminum, will start to curve. And I use this hammer to kind of flatten it back out after I've stamped in it. And that's why I have this hammer around too. But you do not want to use this as a stamping hammer. It just wouldn't work. It's way too soft, way too light. And then, of course, you need some tape. They sell some special tapes, of course. But for now, I've been using this packaging tape that I've had around. And not only do you need it to hold down your blank, but you can use it to keep your blanks straight. And if I go into more detail in another video, if you want more, I can show you exactly how I line it up perfectly on the tape. Not so perfectly all the time, but that's kind of what I like about this homemade thing. It's not always going to be perfectly straight, but you can use the tape to make your lines straight. And then I can also use a Sharpie to kind of mark out where I want my letters. And I always start from center out. That's just a quick little tip there. But if you want more detail, I will be glad to do a more detailed video with you. But I can use a Sharpie on the tape and kind of see where it goes and keep it straight while holding it down on the block at the same time. And so these here, the Sharpies, yes, not just to mark on the tape. Some people also fill in their stamps with Sharpie and then wipe it away, and it works okay. But I found that getting the actual enamel, now this is just the enamel marker because I wanted to try it out. They have bigger bottles of enamel. I like this a lot more. It's a lot richer, it's a lot darker, and I feel like it just sticks in the grooves, the stamped letters, better than Sharpie. So this was definitely worth it. It is a little expensive, but totally worth it. And then finally, before we get into the blanks that I'll show you, you absolutely need this. It's a polishing cloth. Now, when you add the enamel or the Sharpie, if you just use Sharpie, which is okay, when you put that in there, you need something to wipe away the excess, anything that's not in the grooves, and you need something that's going to polish it up. And so this is a polishing cloth. As you can see, I've used it a lot. It was like something like $7, but you need to invest in it because no other cloth, there's just like special fibers in it and stuff. You can't wash it, which is why I'm trying to slowly take it up. I'm using both sides of it. I'm trying to sparingly use it so I don't have to buy it too often. It's actually got me through a lot of pieces so far. But you need this to wipe away the excess and to shine up your piece. So after you fill it in and you wipe it down with this, and it'll also shine it up and everything. But this polishing cloth is important because you need to make sure it's a polishing cloth and not just some other cloth like a microfiber. It will not take it away. It will not wipe off the excess. You need this polishing cloth. So I think this is important for the beginners. So if you don't want to get the enamel, you can go ahead and use your Sharpie if you have one. This is a fine tip Sharpie, which might help you get in the grooves better. Regular Sharpie here. So, but you need something to at least fill it in, something to polish it up afterwards, which I highly recommend the polishing cloth for beginners. Otherwise, it might not look too great. You definitely need the block and hammer, and then of course some stamps to work with, and then any kind of tape to hold it down to your steel block. And then of course you need the blanks. So these are just some of the blanks that I have here. I've used up some and everything. So these two right here, these are some cheap aluminum, and they're actually very flexible. If you can see, I'm bending it with my fingers really easily. So that's why with these, if you stamp on them, they tend to curve. And these also take the lightest pressure. Like I can't stamp it too hard, otherwise it gets a really, really deep impression that doesn't exactly look great at all. But I can still use it, and as long as I have a light enough tap to make sure it doesn't go too deep, and then that's what I was saying, I use this mallet to kind of flatten it out afterwards. And these ones usually come with the blue stuff on there, the blue film that you tear off before you use it because they scratch really easily because it's a really soft metal. And I think these are great for beginners. You can try them out. You just got to remember you have to tap these lighter than you tap the other stuff. For instance, I have this dog tag here, and this dog tag is way more durable. I can't even bend it. I'm sure if I tried really hard I could, but putting some pressure on there, it's not bending. So this takes, you know, the medium pressure or like the regular pressure that you could put. I usually hit it twice, and these take really nice impressions. I really highly suggest these ones for some better products. But I've definitely done a lot of these as well, and a lot of these. So I think these are still great to use, and they're a lot cheaper. You can get a lot more. Washers, you can get washers in some of the packs at Hobby Lobby, or you can get it from your hardware store, or just wherever you can pick them up, you know, recycle the washers. And so that's something. These are usually a lot tougher though. Maybe not the ones from Hobby Lobby, but a hardware kind, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure into stamping them. And then the same thing goes with the penny. They might not look super tough, but this copper, or well, they're not copper anymore, of course, but this penny is a lot thicker and tougher than even this blank here. So I usually take 2 hard whacks at these, 1 softer whack at these aluminum, and for the penny, I sometimes do 3 really hard whacks or 2 super hard whacks because it takes a lot of pressure to indent on them. So you have to go heavy-handed with those pennies. Same thing with these washers here. You have to give it a really good whack, and you don't want to take it too far away. I don't want to get into too much details. If you want me to discuss hand stamping more with you, I will. I'll make some more videos about how to hammer each one and give you some tutorials. But you could use that, and it's really only going to cost you a penny to practice on. These ones are really nice to practice on too because they're still cheaper. I'm going to start showing you guys some of my product right now, as well as some of my other blanks, because I don't have regular empty blanks with these other ones right now. So I have this, and these are really shiny, so if you can't see them, I'm sorry. This says all you need is love, and it's a pick and with a little heart, and it's filled in with enamel. Now this is one of those nice tough metals, so I think it leaves a super nice impression there. And I made it into a keychain there. And then this also is different than this. This didn't turn out so well. The letters are kind of wonky. So this is the cheap aluminum versus the harder kind, and these are about the same size. This is a bigger size. I do have some of these really small blanks here. They're cute for one little letter or a symbol. This is one of the dog tags. Jenny, 8675309. Tell me if you know where that's from. Do you get it? A necklace with a washer here. And here's one of those. You can add like little accessories to it. I have like little beads on this one. And of course the penny. Here is a lucky penny. And some of them I put names and use the birth years and things like that. So there's just a lot of options there. If you'd like to know more, please let me know. This is just kind of my supplies, what I have. I will leave the links up above to subscribe and another video that YouTube will suggest for you. Thank you guys for watching this. I know it's different, but if you want to see some more crafty stuff, I will be glad to share what I know. I'm no expert, but I will be glad to share the things that I know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.